Meteorologist Kelly Dobeck here. It is Lightning Safety Awareness Week. It's a campaign with the National Weather Service and Emergency Management. Just a reminder, especially that summer is here. We're outside doing more activities and to be careful when you hear thunder, go inside, take the precautions because we do see, unfortunately, more lightning deaths during this time of year now more than ever. So this is a list of typically the activities that can be the most dangerous during a thunderstorm. Fishing and being at the beach and camping where you're outside the longest. Those are all topping the list, but really being outside when you can hear thunder just means you got to find somewhere to be safe until that storm passes. Even if you are camping, just look up closest area nearby. Even getting in your car is safer than being outside. What's also interesting is 80% of folks that are struck by lightning is typically men versus women. So another great thing to have if you are doing any of these outdoor activities on your phone, the 19 First Alert weather app will actually send you lightning alerts before the lightning gets here, because we can see lightning strike ahead of a storm. So some more lightning safety tips for you, especially if you're at home. Remember, when you hear thunder, go inside, because we're talking about those lightning strikes. They can strike miles ahead of a storm. So when you hear the rumbles of thunder, you want to get inside. It can strike the same place twice. That's one of those myths you may not know. And then again, trying to get inside as quickly as you can. If you're at the pool, getting inside the shelter over there, the inside part of the building of the pool, or getting into your car just until things pass. It's safer than being outside. If there's a store nearby, a grocery store, things like that, somewhere just to go until the storm passes. We've already seen so far this summer that thunderstorms can be just as dangerous as tornado warnings when it comes to just the gusty winds, but also the lightning can be dangerous as well.